Assalamu alaikum to all of my followers back at home. I would like to welcome you back to my channel. My name is Andrew, also known on YouTube as Globe Whisperer, and today we begin a 3-week journey through one of the most underrated countries, if not the most underrated country on earth. This is Pakistan. I'm going to be here for the next 3 weeks, and the journey all begins right here in Lahore. This is Lahore, the former capital of the Mughal Empire, which makes it a city rich in culture and history. I hope you're ready, because I'm about to take you on a journey through one of my favorite cities. Now, because this is my first clip from Pakistan, I do want to make a number of points to those who are watching. There are 3 things about Pakistan that are very misunderstood by the Western world, and I want to kind of debunk those myths, because the truth is, everything you think you know about Pakistan is wrong. First of all, Pakistan is, as at least in 2019, it is a safe place for tourism. Ever since 2012, things have been improving tremendously, to the point where here in 2019, not only has a number of YouTubers actually come in and try to work on putting Pakistan on the tourism map, but also Prime Minister Imran Khan has invested a lot of his efforts into bringing tourism back into the country. In fact, just this past year, a new visa process was put in place that makes it a lot easier to come here. Second, Malala Yousafzai is not the international face of the country. And a lot of Pakistanis will tell you that, and I do agree with that statement. Not because of anything wrong with her or her family or her work, but because her story comes from a very dark time in Pakistan's history that all of Pakistan, and especially Swat, where she's from, is trying to move on from. And then the third thing is, Pakistan and India are not sworn enemies with each other. Even here in 2019, when Modi actually stripped Kashmir very recently of their autonomous status, the Wagah border flag ceremony is still able to go on without people being in each other's throats. Remember, Pakistan and India, and also Bangladesh, were all part of the same country during British rule. So they lived side by side with each other for a very long time. So, without further ado, this is the Greater Iqbal Park. Welcome to Lahore's version of Central Park, named after Allama Iqbal, a famous poet whose work played a huge role in inspiring Pakistan's independence. Greater Iqbal Park serves as a segue into Lahore's most famous icons, as well as a great hangout spot for locals. And if you're lucky enough to show up on the right day, like I did, you can even catch a glimpse of a local Sufi Urs festival. Say this, I mean, this whole area is kind of like blocked off, but this is actually really, really neat. You come in here, it's like this main open park where everybody's kind of chilling out. I think I'm the only foreigner here, to be honest with you, but you know, over here you have the Minar-e-Pakistan. And look, you got all this open space around us. And then you get this little moat right here, and then Oh boy, would you look at that. Look at that beauty. And what we're gonna see right over here is Lahore Fort. And then from there we go into Badshahi. But first, street food. Assalamu alaikum. All right. This looks good. Let me try this. So it looks like it's got some potatoes he's chopping up here. I got the garam masala. Oh yeah. Wow. Wow. It's like a little vinegary kind of thing with everything. Wow, that is so good. Now I understand why the Lahore is all the rage for street food. I'm gonna finish this. Up next is Lahore Fort, one of the most important forts on the Indian subcontinent, given that Lahore was the Mughal capital, started in the 16th century by Emperor Akbar and then improved upon by subsequent emperors Jahangir and ultimately Shah Jahan, the same mastermind behind the Taj Mahal. So, touring the Lahore Fort all begins with this mural that you see behind me. This is known as the pictured wall. So this was actually commenced by Jahangir in around 1624, 1625 AD. And it was actually completed about 7 to 8 years later by Shah Jahan. Now, as you'll see here, it actually contains basically everything related to the Mughal Empire, such as certain sports that they love to play versus, animals that were domesticated. As you can see, the elephant and the camel. And it also has, very good detail picturing, certain flower patterns here, as you can see. This is Chasa. He's going to be showing me around here. It means king in Punjabi. So yeah, let's check this out here. Yeah, so apparently these steps were purposely made so that an elephant could actually get up. And ironically, the front gates to the fort were made with these special spikes. I mean, they're not there anymore, but they were originally constructed so that elephants couldn't invade the fort. So, and one of the first things you'll see inside Lahore Fort is one of the many improvements that Shah Jahan made to Akbar's creation, and one of the coolest features in the fort itself, Sheesh Mahal. Known for having some of the original paintings from the Mughal Empire, and the interior completely decked out in little bits and pieces of mirror. So one of the most amazing things from the Mughal Empire was the architecture. So if you ever go to the Taj Mahal, you'll actually see so much good detail in the mosaics and everything. And here, you get a lot of the same stuff. But wait, it gets better. So if you check this out right over here.
I want mirror palace. Shah Jahan said, okay, second time made of mirror.
Interesting.
Made of gold and diamond.
So it was originally made of gold and diamond, and then it was changed over to mirror.
After Mughal 6th period and Radha Krishna during the Ranjit period, and Vishnu paintings, Vishnu board.
Vishnu, like the Hindu goddess.
Yeah, Hindu. Ranjit Singh had 20 wives and mostly wife of Hindu.
Okay.
That's why Hindu paintings here.
Interesting.
These are parrot eating of grapes here. These are branches of the grapes. These are like a star made of marble. 1974 Islamic conference here. 39 countries prime minister lunch here. Muslim countries. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, Shah Faisal, Qaddafi, Saddam Hussein lunch here.
You heard that right. Hindu paintings. Because even while Sunni Islam dominated in the Mughal days, religious diversity, especially under Akbar's rule, was a thing here. But wait, check this out. So like over here, they used to actually, burn candles in this room, and then the way it reflects off of the mirror, I can only imagine what it must have looked like. Oh my gosh.
And as you continue to explore the fort, you'll notice all the changes that came to the place after numerous people got their hands on it.
The first thing I'm going to show you is right in here. Is you can actually see the patterns and the architecture of the Hindus, like this one, and then these two gates right here. You have one which is Mughal architecture and one that is Sikh architecture, which brings me to my next point, that this is actually the most religiously diverse part of Pakistan, with Sunni Islam being the dominant religion, but you also have some Hindus and some Sikhs in Punjab. This is actually a really cool thing right here. This used to be, back in the day, a tennis court. And then what happened was one of the rulers back during the days of the Mughal Empire actually turned this into a dancing stage where he could actually, sit above those rocks right over here and then be entertained by his many, many wives. So it's basically a sports venue turned into a strip club. And hey, I mean, we may as well do the same thing with Yankee Stadium. It's not like we're going to be using that venue for anything else anytime soon. So now it's supposed to be a fountain, except it's not really doing anything right now.
And much like many other forts, castles, and palaces that you'll see around the world, this one also has banquet halls, sleeping quarters, and courtyards for you to explore, as well as tons of very friendly locals that couldn't be happier to see you exploring their city.
Ran into like this bunch of school kids. Say hi. It's crazy. Like, I think close to 100 people just in the Lahore Fort itself have come up to me and they're like, "Hey, excuse me, can we get a selfie? Can I get selfie?" I'm like, this is just too much. And it actually got to a point where my guide had to like shoo a bunch of them away because it was like kind of slowing him down and all that. But it just goes to show how welcoming they are in Pakistan towards foreign tourists, because they're so happy to have us again. It's like, it was, the tourism industry was dwindling for so long, and now it's like making a huge comeback, like 28-3 kind of comeback. Sorry, I had to work that in there.
Honestly though, you could spend several hours exploring every nook and cranny of the fort if you wanted to. But further attractions await. Exit the fort, bang a left, and you'll quickly find yourself looking at the Big Kahuna.
Up next is the main attraction, probably in all of Lahore, if not all of Pakistan. But first, that's a very well-preserved entrance to Lahore Fort. They call that the Elephant Gate, because just like that other set of steps, it was made so that back in the Mughal days, an elephant could make their way through. So we just got to make their way through the crowds. Of course, off come the shoes. Oh boy, would you look at that? Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring you the main attraction here in Lahore, if not all of Pakistan. Behold, Badshahi Masjid, otherwise known as Badshahi Mosque. Oh, would you look at that? I cannot believe that I'm actually here. Funny thing about this particular mosque is that it was modeled to basically mimic a mosque out in New Delhi called Jawa Masjid, and it's almost the exact same with the exception of a couple details. Because remember what I said, they were all part of the same country at one point. I'm gonna show you the inside of it.
Badshahi Masjid, which means Imperial Mosque in Urdu, serves as one of the last masterpieces built during the Mughal Empire. Built in under 2 years by the empire's final ruler, Aurangzeb. For 3 centuries, it was the biggest mosque on earth and remains one of the most famous landmarks in Pakistan today. And as we head inside, Casa is showing me something amazing with the sound system.
Yeah, I can hear you right over here. Oh my gosh. That is awesome. So it's like one of us can actually shout in the corner over there and it just like echoes all the way over here. That is awesome.
And of course, more selfies with locals. Because why not? Really, it's like Taylor Swift showed up or something.
Just check out this architecture.
And as you continue to explore the mosque's interior, all clad in white marble and more carvings of flower patterns, it becomes obvious why this is such a revered house of worship, and it makes more sense how it is seen as a sign of peace and love, which is really what the Pakistani people are all about.
Actually, it looks like someone just got hitched. Hashtag ball and chain. But there we have it. And then right over there is a Sikh temple. So remember how I was talking about the diversity of Lahore.
And of course, don't forget to snag this view of the Elephant Gate as well as Allama Iqbal's tomb.
So that, my friends, is day 1 in Pakistan. Badshahi Masjid, Lahore Fort, and Greater Iqbal Park. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. And in retrospect, it was perfect. As you can see from this drone shot, all these landmarks are right next to one another. And I'd recommend allowing one full day to take it all in. So make sure you work all this into your itinerary when you visit here. Your passport will thank you.
Right, so here we have it, guys. That's an intro to Lahore, but like I said, there's so much more to the city. So stay tuned for more clips of the walled city of Lahore as well as the Wagah border flag ceremony. So once again, Bahook Shukriya, and thank you for watching.